My name is Vinson Valega, and we're with an organization called Consilience Productions. It's an artist-run nonprofit. Our mission statement is live jazz for social change. So once a month we put on our Consilience Awareness Concert Series here at Vox Pop, where we play a set of live jazz followed by a presentation by a social change organization. In the past we've had presentations on mentorship, on alternative energy and solar power, on poverty alleviation, and tonight, this afternoon, we're pleased to present Theo Moore from Common Cause, New York. He's going to present right after this next song. We are lucky and privileged and honored to have Theo Moore from Common Cause New York, who's going to tell us about this awesome organization. It was started in 1970. It's represented in over 36 different states. What they do is they hold power accountable. They're basically the lobbyists for us citizens. So the idea of these Consilience Awareness Concert Series is to foster civic engagement, to get people out through the music, with the music, to learn about important issues of the day. Dialogue beyond music. The tagline is live jazz for social change. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Theo Moore. Give it up for Theo.
Hey everybody. My name is Theo Moore with Common Cause New York. We're basically a good government group. We were started by John Gardner. And basically, you know, our existence is because, not based on the fact that government is bad, but government doesn't always do good things. So a good government group basically wants government to do all of the good things that we naturally think that they should be doing. So I want to talk quickly about a couple things that we have happening on a statewide level and on a national level that we feel, you know, can really change drastically the way things are done both in Albany and in Washington, D.C. We've also been working on it as an organization is helping some of the communities track some of the stimulus funding that has been reported to be heading to basically all over. You know, people want to know, where's the money going, where are the jobs that are being created, how can I get in contact with some of these, you know, some of these organizations that receive some of the money, how can I get into contact with some of these organizations that are giving out some of these jobs. So we want there to be more transparent means and more accountability for the money that's being spent. But we do have a, you know, a presentation which, you know, where we actually teach community members how to track the spending in their community, so we can actually, you know, take all of the websites that exist and be able to zoom in, you know, and figure out the amount of money that went to what place and give that information to community members. And if people are interested in that, you know, we're actually going around and setting up presentations, usually working with local community groups to show individuals that, you know, once again, you can sign the sheet and say that's what you're interested in. And if there's something happening in this neighborhood, then we'll definitely make you aware of that. Also, if you're interested in setting up something like that, we can, you know, do something like that in this neighborhood or wherever you happen to live. called for is total independent redistricting, which means that redistricting would be done in a nonpartisan fashion, so that basically the districts are based on, you know, they would be as fair as possible. You know, you would have a set amount of individuals living in the district. You would have, you know, none of these weird shaped districts, and so that people can actually vote for their elected officials as opposed to the elected officials choosing the people who they feel are going to vote for them. Now, I don't know if individuals know, but people who are incarcerated aren't counted they're actually, even though they can't vote, they're counted in jail. So every time the census rolls around every 10 years, people who are incarcerated are counted in the prisons where they are as opposed to where they actually came from. And this is a process called prison-based gerrymandering. And what it does is it actually steals power and representation and money from the communities where they come from, and puts it in basically the upstate rural districts where they actually happen to be incarcerated. We have numbers that show that, you know, in a lot of upstate districts, if it weren't for the prisoners, they wouldn't actually have enough people living in their districts to have them be, you know, districts themselves. We actually have sponsored legislation in the Senate and in the Assembly that would actually, for the purpose of redistricting, count individuals who are incarcerated in their home districts instead of in the upstate prisons. We actually send money to those districts. So New York City, if there's a person incarcerated, you know, here, upstate New York, the city of New York actually sends money up to that district to pay for that person who is in prison.
Aren't they getting money twice over?
They are getting money twice over. I mean, it really goes to further perpetuate the prison industrial complex, because they're getting money from New York City, plus they're getting money from the state and from the federal government for having the prison, plus whatever they have the individuals doing while they're in prison. So it's really what a lot of the upstate districts do, a lot of individuals, it goes to replace some of the lost industry, you know, some of the factories, some of the manufacturing that they've lost. So they basically, you know, replace factories with prisons. You know, as soon as a factory leaves, you know, somewhere outside in the suburbs of Buffalo, they want to build a prison because they still need jobs, they still need employment up there. And you have a lot of times, you know, just because prisons are money, they build a prison, and then immediately after they build a prison, they build a strip mall right by the prison. Because it's big business, you know, the prison comes in, the strip mall comes in, and then the Walmart comes in afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to Theo Moore from Common Cause New York. Thank you, Theo. Thanks for listening. My name is Vinson Valega, Consilience Productions. We put on this event here once a month, combining jazz music and social activism, live jazz for social change.
Thank you.